At the moment, the government is saying that there's no evidence of electoral interference at this, which Australia is preparing for a federal election. We're expecting one in May. The government would be very keen to make sure that everything is above board. We did hear from one upper house parliamentarian in Australia today saying that since that initial breach a week and a half ago, there have been no further instances of the system being compromised, but Australia is putting new measures in place to make sure everything is watertight.
Phil, many thanks. Our correspondent Phil Mercer joining us live from Sydney. You're listening to Newsday on the BBC World Service. Shaima Khalil here in London. James Copnell is in Nigeria. We'll go to James in a few minutes to get more on that election that wasn't and whether the country will be ready for the election this coming weekend. Stay with us. More stories to come. This is the BBC World Service, where the story of Reuben Hurricane Carter continues.
We, the jury, found the defendants, Reuben Carter and John Artis, guilty. And it was like somebody had hit me on the chin because my knees buckled.
Found guilty of a brutal triple murder in 1966.
What is the truth in this matter?
Previously unheard audio recordings of the famous American boxer Reuben Hurricane Carter help to tell the full story.
Carter and Artis were released from custody, the first time in 9 years.
A story of twists and turns, like a second trial and another guilty verdict.
When the judge said time for the defense to start his case, I told him I'm not testifying. They said, what?
A story of two men who always maintained their innocence, and the detective still convinced he got the right men.
The whole city of Patterson knew Reuben did it. There was no secret.
The Hurricane Tapes, Sunday at 22:30 GMT. This is Newsday on the BBC World Service. Hello and welcome. It's me, Shaima Khalil, here in London. James Copnell is in Nigeria, where the blame game over the delayed election continues. We'll also bring you the latest on the Kenya-Somalia standoff over oil and gas reserves that the two nations lay claim to, and child brides in South Sudan. All of that coming up after the latest world news.
BBC News with Neil Nunes. The Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison says 3 major political parties have been the subject of a cyber attack. Mr. Morrison said Australia's security agencies believed a sophisticated state actor was responsible for the hack, which also breached Parliament's computer systems. He said Australia had acted decisively. Pakistan has recalled its High Commissioner from India for consultations. This follows a sharp